Welcome to FRC Media News for Thursday, March 24th, 2022. I'm Keith Tebow. Fall River small businesses get a financial boost as they continue to recover from the pandemic. There's a change in leadership coming to the Children's Museum of Greater Fall River, and local restaurants share their talent at Fall River's Restaurant Week beginning tomorrow. All this and more coming up. Fall River Mayor Paul Coogan today awarded 49 local small businesses grants funded by the American Rescue Plan Act to continue their recovery from the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. The grants were in the amounts of $2,500 or $5,000 to businesses with 10 or fewer employees.
Fall River small businesses are the backbone of our city. They are the family bakeries who have passed down through generations from resident to resident. To the restaurants that attract visitors from out of town, the important services that keep our community going, our salons, our small businesses, our garages, that's what we wanted to focus on. This funding can also be given to nonprofits who struggled because they couldn't even raise funds during the pandemic. And in today's list of recipients, we have auto body shops, also salons, chiropractors, opticians, restaurants, bakeries, contractors, and more. It's an honor to be able to give them these awards and provide them supports.
Among those receiving assistance is At Your Service, a limousine, car, and courier service, which has been in business in Fall River for 22 years. Owner Harvey Treef says when travel shut down, so did his business.
When the pandemic hit in March of 2020, I had 50 reservations, and I never did one. And that basically was the story from March of 2020 until maybe January of this year. It is starting to come back, but it's got a long, long way to go. I probably use it to fill up my tank with gas. I have a few outstanding bills that I have to pay. The money will come very, very much in handy. Surprises me that there's not more people taking advantage of it. The process was pretty easy as long as you had, the paperwork that was required. And it was a pretty painless process, and I'm just very, very happy to be a recipient.
Dr. Rajiv Nera of the Fall River Spine and Disc Center thought he would need to shut down his 20-year-old business for 2 weeks at the onset of the pandemic. That shutdown lasted 3 months, with months following of only limited activity. He's grateful for the support to the point that now all of his 8 employees are back on the job.
When you have your community that really supports you, the small businesses, the small practices, the mom and pop shops, the bakeries, you feel a state of security. You feel that we're in it together, and there's no other feeling like that. When if I was to rewind what my thoughts were during those 3 months, it was a very unsure, and all my colleagues had that same mindset, all my co-workers. We didn't know, but not only does it set a precedence that your community is behind you, God forbid anything would ever happen in the future or any other event, you have a resource. You know that people behind you.
Over $157,000 was distributed during this first allocation of funding. Over $3 million remains for the nearly 2,000 Fall River small businesses who could benefit from the program. For more information, businesses should contact the Bristol County Economic Development Consultants at 508-324-2620. New COVID infections in Fall River remain flat. Here's an update on the latest COVID numbers in Fall River as of last Thursday, March 17th. 48 new cases of the virus were reported, up from 47 the week prior. 29,503 cases of COVID have been recorded in Fall River since the onset of the pandemic. Vaccinations also remain flat, with 70% of city residents having received at least 1 dose of the vaccine and 62% fully vaccinated. Only 26% of city residents have received the COVID vaccine booster. There's still ample opportunity to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. You can find out more by visiting the city's website frvax.com or by calling 833-8VAX-NOW. That's 833-882-9669. The state also has a webpage at vaxfinder.mass.gov. You can also dial 211. For those in need of community COVID-19 testing, the state Stop the Spread testing site at Bristol Community College, in service since the onset of the pandemic, will close next Thursday, March 31st. Local pharmacies are still offering community COVID-19 tests. In other news, out of Government Center, the City Council this week gave unanimous approval to Mayor Paul Coogan's nomination of Bridget Allman to serve as the city's next Director of Financial Services. The mayor says the Warwick, Rhode Island resident has extensive financial management experience and comes to the job well respected.
We have to get the best people available. I would love to have hired a finance director from Fall River, but we didn't have one applicant from Fall River. So again, I can't really factor that in. We had the strongest candidate on the table was Bridget Allman by far, and that's what we want to bring into Fall River. People, whether it's the city engineer, whether it's somebody from DCM, whatever. We want people that are natural leaders, can take over a department and lead it in a new positive direction for the city. And I think Bridget has those type of qualities, and the other hires we've been making, again, whether they're from Fall River or whether they're from out of the area, we're looking for the best people to change the direction of the city.
The City Council will soon begin deliberations on recommendations by Mayor Coogan to reorganize city government to create a Department of City Operations.
We're hoping that we can get our reorg done. I think if you look at the chart, it flows a little more smoothly with certain people in certain divisions knowing who they're reporting to. What the expectations are will come from the people that lead those divisions. And again, it'll increase accountability, transparency, and hopefully it'll make for a smoother workflow. Those are the things we're looking at. You know, again, when we look at the city of Fall River, there's been some. When you look at the old organizational chart, there was some choppy areas. We're trying to make it more streamlined, and I think we can create some efficiencies and again, hopefully a smoother workflow.
The mayor says the reorganization will not result in additional individuals being hired to management positions within the city. Citizens for Citizens Incorporated opened its new food pantry last month at 822 Eastern Avenue. The new location provides the organization with more space and the opportunity to offer a wider variety of food to local residents.
In moving to this new building, it gave us a better chance to offer clients what we like to call the client choice. So we're not just giving them a whole bunch of food that they don't like and we find it on the street later. Being a bigger location, we have the option to put a lot of the food out and let them go down the line and pick and choose the things that they will use and leave behind the things that they won't. And that way we're able to stretch our food a little more and make sure people get things that they like versus things that we want to give them. We've had a lot of new people, and I don't think that's so much the location as so much that we are now offering to come inside and have a client choice. So it makes clients feel better and that they're like less of a person when you go to a food pantry, when you're just thrown food at you and you're like, here, this is what you can have. Nobody wants that, and that's not how we want our clients to feel. So I feel like giving them the client choice makes them feel better, not only about their self, that we care about their thoughts, but it makes more people want to come here.
Program Coordinator Crystal Arpa says the expanded pantry space allows for CFC to provide nutritious options for its clients.
We went from 1,700 square feet on Griffin Street to a little over 7,000 square feet. So we have a much bigger space. Our hopes are that not only will we start handing out more food, and not just canned goods, but our fresh vegetables and our frozen foods. We have the storage now that we will be able to stock more of them items and hopefully start giving out more personal care items, household items, now that we have this space. So we'll be serving more people, but hopefully we'll be serving them better than we have.
The CFC Food Pantry is open Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. and the first Thursday of each month from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Ms. Harper says CFC is also using its new space to help other organizations in need.
The new space has also allowed us the opportunity to try to assist and help any of our local food pantry soup kitchens, where many of us have struggled for years with storage space. We tend to turn a lot of food away that's offered to us because we do not have the proper storage. So with this new building, we're hoping not only to be able to take in more for ourselves, but share or help other pantries store some of theirs also if needed.
For more information on the CFC Food Pantry, you can call 508-679-0041. The Children's Museum of Greater Fall River is transitioning this month as longtime Executive Director Joanne Sprague retires and new Executive Director Caitlin Mushipi takes over. Mrs. Sprague first joined the board of the museum in 2005 and became its Executive Director in 2012. In the early days, the museum did not have a home and held a variety of pop-up events. That all changed in 2012 when it worked with Bristol County in securing use of the former Bristol County Superior Courthouse on North Main Street.
I think the community needed to see us, that we were known as the museum without walls. Some called it the virtual museum, and some friends, business leaders in the city would say to me, "How's your virtual museum?" And I said to the board, we got to dive in here. And then I put a group together. I called them the think tank. And it had an architect and a couple of business folks that had, done some big renovations, a couple of board members. And we just sat down and I would run things off of them. And one of them in the group said to me in May, "How about a soft opening in September?" And he said, "If you could have seen the look on your face." But we did it. We only opened with 5 rooms to begin with. And I think what the funders in this area have appreciated that we were good stewards. And we built something, we raised money, we built something. So, we didn't go crazy and get ourselves in debt. That we've remained in the black throughout.
The museum has grown to now encompass 13 exhibits over 2 floors of the former courthouse. Mrs. Sprague credits the support of local corporate and individual donors, along with those in the educational community, for the museum's success. She also says that by the community embracing the mission of the museum, it was able to secure federal COVID aid to survive through the pandemic.
So it's certainly going in the right direction. I just booked my first public school. Actually, this week we had 2 public schools, and I just booked one this morning for May. So we're beginning to see that. We were getting some of the child care centers back last summer, but the public schools we hadn't been getting, and that was a big source of revenue for us in the spring. Most of them all get their money at the same time, and it's May and June, and we've even had to add an extra day sometimes to be able to accommodate all the schools that want to come in. So we're seeing an uptick in that for sure. Birthday parties, lots of birthday parties. We started with just private parties during COVID, so they wouldn't, have exposure to other people in the building. So we started with that, which got popular after hours. And it's more expensive because we have to run the building after hours. But people were willing to spend it because, they liked the idea that they could have a private party. So it's coming back.
Ms. Mushipi has been in place since the beginning of the month and is impressed by the work of the staff and the solid foundation set by Mrs. Sprague.
This is such an asset to this area. It's huge to have something like this here. And so I see being able to be a part of something like this. And Joanne has just done an incredible job of laying this foundation, and so much work has been put into that. And where my skill set lies, there's a lot of experience I have in grant writing and fundraising, and also business management, which is what I did before I joined Peace Corps. I just see myself as a great fit to kind of now take it to the next level.
Ms. Mushipi brings early childhood educational experience through her work in the Peace Corps. She sees her new role in the short term to ensure the museum remains financially sustainable and grows based on the needs of the community.
What we've realized during this time, I think, in so many different aspects of life is that you really just never know what's going to happen. And we want to be prepared for that unknown. Nobody expected COVID to happen, you know? And so I think that being prepared in having, you know, the financial stability that we need to make sure that we'll always be prepared is really important. And then from there, you know, making sure that we are in tune with what our community needs, what the changes in, you know, what our children want, you know, what the changes are in technology and things like that, and make sure that we're really like up to date. We're keeping our exhibits up to date. We're, you know, changing with the interests of, you know, our patrons.
Mrs. Sprega's last day is April 1st, as she looks forward to spending more time with her husband, former Bristol Community College President John Sprega, their children and grandchildren. She also plans to serve in the role of consultant in helping Miss Mushipi get acquainted with the South Coast. She feels the future of the museum is strong as long as the community continues to support it.
One of the taglines we talk about in children's museums, we say explore, discover, grow, you know, that not only children but parents to get involved. And then we also say that oftentimes children's museums are the first museum somebody visits. And some people think that museums aren't for all. And they think you need to have a certain education or socioeconomic. And so children's museums kind of take all that away. And there's nothing more I love to see but a family, they come in and they're a little hesitant. What do we do? You show us around, and they answer the questions. And then by the time they're leaving, you know, you just see they're relaxed, they enjoyed it, and they come back again. And so I think we've broken down some of those barriers. And I think, you know, everyone feels comfortable coming here no matter what their socioeconomic situation is.
We'll have more FRC Media News right after this.
Here are some job descriptions on the latest hot jobs list from the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center. Shipper. Tech Etch Incorporated, located at 100 Riggenbach Road, seeks a full-time shipper to correctly fill out company documentation, bills of lading, enter finished goods into inventory, and prepare for shipment. Job number 164-66316. Child Interventionist. Butterfly Effects is looking for a full-time child interventionist to teach autistic children how to communicate, share, play, and other essential skills through play-based activities in their own homes in the Fall River area. Job number 164-72468. Operations Director, Bristol Community College, located at 777 Ellsbury Street, is seeking a full-time operations director, responsible for day-to-day oversight of all training-related operations, as well as managing the National Offshore Wind Institute's instructors. Job number 164-70071. Cycle Counter, Whirlpool Corporation, located at 88 Current Road, is looking for a full-time cycle counter. For more information, call 269-923-3000. Blount Fine Foods, located at 630 Current Road, has an immediate need for the following full and part-time positions. Pack Out Packer, job number 164-72430. Inventory Control Associate, job number 164-72431. For more information about these or other positions, visit Mass Hire JobQuest at jobquest.dcs.eol.mass.gov or call the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center at 508-730-5000.
Welcome back. Bristol Community College this week dedicated its latest library collection, hosting material on the Holocaust and other instances of genocide.
This unique library resource collection will enhance the work of our Holocaust and Genocide Center to inspire conversation about the Holocaust and other genocides across the academic curriculum at Bristol Community College and beyond. This collaboration is also deeply rooted in Bristol's vision and values to advance a vibrant, diverse community through education that respectfully embraces and affirms individual perspectives and identities.
Those looking to try out new restaurants have an opportunity to take part in Restaurant Week in Fall River, beginning tomorrow and running through March 31st.
We just wanted to kick off the spring dining season and just get people excited about some of the new restaurants that are in town and then maybe some of the restaurants they haven't been to yet. So we really just wanted to come up with an easy lift for the restaurants too. We don't want to create any more work for them. We know they're already maxed out. And but we just wanted to do something fun. And I saw that, you know, Newport has it. Providence has a 2-week one. So I said, you know, why not? Let's just give it a shot. I mean, it really doesn't take much and it's not really asking much of the restaurants. And so it's just a really fun way to get the community out. There's 12 participating restaurants and you just go in and hopefully the server will give you the regular menu in addition to the price fix menu, $25, 3 courses, not including beverages or tax and gratuity. I have to mention that because, you know, you got to make sure those servers are well taken care of. And if they don't give it to you, please do ask for it. But each participant's going to have a sign on their window that says that they're a Restaurant Week participant. And then you just go ahead and pick a course from each of the offerings and just enjoy. That's the last piece, just enjoy.
Ms. Rigo says as much as the event is an opportunity for city residents to try new flavors, it's also a chance for out-of-towners to experience the Fall River food scene.
The food is very connected to culture in this city, and I feel like it's a great way for us to showcase, like I said earlier, all the different kinds of food that we have, and our restaurants are really welcoming. Some of these restaurants have been open for many years. They're owned by families. When you go in there, you feel like you're being invited to somebody's table, like you're part of their house, especially the Portuguese restaurants. I can say that from experience. So I think that kind of wonderful cooking for a great price, why wouldn't people from outside the city want to come and experience that? Like, we might be used to it. It might be commonplace to us, but it's very sought after by other people. So we have to start looking at the things that we have as not just like, oh, that's something that we've always had, but to, like, look at and see it through other people's eyes. The things that we have in this city are quite attractive to other people. We just have to, and we have to make sure that we let them know that they're welcome.
You can find a full list of restaurants and their menus for Fall River Restaurant Week at vivafallriver.com. We'll wrap up this edition of FRC Media News right after this.
Welcome to Hot Dogs and Cool Cats. Today we have Philos. He is a 1-year-old Labrador. He is 92 pounds of love. He is very respectful with cats. He doesn't really care about them. He is selective with some dogs. He knows to sit, give paw. He also knows how to lay down and then come up from laying down. He needs a home with older children. His adopters also need to own their own home, and a fenced-in yard would be preferred. So if you're interested in Philos, you can come down to 300 Linwood Street, which is Forever Paws Animal Shelter, and you can come and meet him. I'm sure he would love to meet you.
Today we have Bubbles. If you saw our previous show, she's the sibling of Blossom. She is 6 years old. She's a female, already spayed. She was a surrender along with her 2 other siblings. She's also a dilute calico, which is a very pretty light calico color. You may also notice her bright blue eyes, which I think are beautiful. She's significantly more shy than her siblings. She may not come out to you at first if you're interested in her, but when she does come around, she's very sweet, very friendly. She loves to be pet. She could sit here and be pet all day. We prefer a home with older children for her, just so they'll understand her boundaries and know that she doesn't want to be bothered 24/7. She's more of a independent kind of cat. If you're interested in Bubbles, you'll want to go to the Forever Paws website, fill out an application, and then we'll let you know if you're selected to adopt her. So come on down to 300 Lindwin Street in Fall River, Massachusetts to meet Bubbles.
That's all for this edition of FRC Media News. Please check out our website at frmedia.org for all the latest news and information. FRC Media News airs Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Fridays at 5:30 p.m. For all of us here at FRC Media News, I'm Keith Tebow. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you next Thursday.